Okay, so with Manu, Chander, after the excellent paper you just gave on that panel, I really enjoyed that. Just wondered, for those who weren't able to attend, if you could just explain a bit about what your paper was on.
Yeah, so I've been interested in the ways that the persistent return to sympathy in 18th and 19th century studies over the last 20 years, 15 years, and particularly the way that sympathy has been sort of attended to as a kind of potentially liberatory 18th century, 19th century discourse. And I'm really interested in the limits of that sympathetic identification and the ways in which things that are at the edge of the sympathetic imagination get folded out, and the way that colonial writers, in fact, represent the making good of that, right, by insisting on humanity in the colonial periphery. So I talk specifically about how Henry Derozio presents this Wordsworthian solipsist, exactly the kind of person that Shelley would hate, and that sort of writes against in Alastor, but that is a sort of politically cosmopolitan act that makes good on Shelley's cosmopolitanism in ways that Shelley couldn't. Any of that make sense?
Yeah, that's a fantastic explanation. And I'm really interested in that idea of a kind of critique of Wordsworthian sympathy in the poem. I think it was called Social Feeling, was it, that you shared? And how do you think that might relate to Keats? Because obviously we have a big poet who is also reacting to Wordsworthian solipsism in ideas of sympathetic identification.
Yeah. I talk about Keats in Brown Romantics. I think Keats's relation to sympathy is much less certain than scholarship has tended to attend to. I know that there's a sort of common association with Keats gets his notion of sympathy through Hazlitt, and that sort of becomes... Actually, I think that Keats's sort of mimicry and playfulness actually distances him in important ways from that rhetoric of sympathy. I think he is critical at certain moments, as someone like Derozio is in Social Feeling. So I discussed that in the last chapter of Brown Romantics.
And do you see correlations with the odes? Because there's some real similarities in language with Ode to Nightingale and Psyche particularly.
Yeah. No, well, as Dan said during the thing, Derozio was called Indian Keats during his time. I called Keats, English white Derozio. I mean, there's an intense sort of set of common concerns, and in particular, I think the turn away from pathos toward aesthesis, right? Two Greek words that both translate roughly to feeling, but I think you can trace those in both Derozio and Keats, right? So Keats is rejecting sympathy in, for example, his letter to Mariana Jeffrey, where he says, no, I wouldn't possibly want to go be on an Indiaman, right, take a position as a medic, because I couldn't imagine being with all those people with whom you could possibly share nothing, right? So he's actually exploring the limits of what sympathy with others can sort of do there, and I think something similar is happening in the Derozio poem, where he's saying, all right, I'm done with the outside world, let's go inward. But the alternative he's posing, this is something I draw out in a sort of longer argument, is aesthesis as a means of connecting with others, right? To connect through the aesthetic rather than through the pathetic. And I think Keats is able to articulate that actually in ways that Shelley cannot.
Or at least the failure of it at times. Thank you so much, that's really interesting.
Thank you so much.